All right. How y'all doing tonight, chat? Um, so let's just get right into things. We'll get to geek in a moment. Let me see, make sure everything's okay. But before we get to geek, which is one of the topics I wanted to bring up, because he responded to the stream after I tagged him. But before we get to geek, which is one of the topics I wanted to bring up, because he okay, the audio is working. That's great. All right. There's a little something that happened right after the stream, like not less than 24 hours. Got a response from like an old buddy, old pal of mine that tried to get on my good side. You may have heard of him. He was a character known as Mill Goddess. He's the guy who took over GG Revolt after the old board owner went away. And he's a guy who keeps on saying that he didn't do nothing and he was a good boy. He was just innocent, even though he was yucking it up with 3 different groups that were against me and Verilo and anyone else during those days who was standing up against the skeptics that were going up against now. And and under his watch, we saw that the rules against doxing, that very rule that was against, supposed to protect diggers and stuff, that was let's slide. Mainly was used to go after me, attack me, and attack Verilo personally, and with their families involved with that as well. And he wouldn't take the doxes down. He was just that much of a piece of shit that he would just stab people in the back like that. So let's take a look at a couple comments he left. This is something he posted on the board. We'll get to that in a moment. No, that's for later. All right, let me stop being such a boomer here and actually get this working. So first it gets into the Discord, which, by the way, anyone can join in. You're free to enter as you please. And I see he enters this Discord, and I ask him, presuming you found the link via the stream I made? He responds with, yep. And what's your business here, I ask him. And he says, see what the haps is on the internet drama. I respond with, nothing you can't do from a distance. And after that, I immediately kick him. Because it isn't anything he can't do from a distance. And frankly, since this guy likes to LARP as a fasci goy, he really can't complain about this, since part of fascism is respecting authority and hierarchy of your betters. Then we have this lovely not that one, this one first. Why put an invite link if you're scared of discourse? Such a big brain comment right here. Remember when you tried to give me my docs to Cole because you were mad about someone else doxing you, but you had entirely wrong information? And I respond with, while I do remember Acid Man trying to dox you, I had nothing to do with that. And you wonder why I kicked you from the Discord? This slanderous piece of shit accuses me of doxing him, when that's not something I would do. And by the way, if I was going to go ahead and try to dox you, I wouldn't miss. I can guarantee you that much. Huh? But anyway. And yeah, this disingenuous piece of shit also says, dropped in the Discord and Kelly kicked me. Oh, shucks. Yeah, he wonders why that is. Well, you can own your Discord that's full of furfags, skeptifags, and all their other kinds of degenerates and people that just like to shit up the board with their dumb memes that aren't funny, and all their shit that you like to introduce. And you were the one who made GG Revolt's numbers sink to the bottom, sink way below Coleslaw's old form back in the day. And the whole form has just been from mid 2016 onwards, just people shitting all over themselves and getting nothing accomplished. So congratulations, you can totally have that as part of your legacy. But in any event, let's get to more interesting stuff. All right. So I mentioned Geek Cthulhu before, and I may or may not have shown one of the images that I'm going to present tonight. Let's see. Yeah. So, what about Geek? He's the guy who I mentioned previously that went ahead, kicked Andy in the dirt when he was already down the dumps anyway. He went ahead and he decided to go ahead and leak private message with him about his about him having a panic attack over his family and just dealing with general stress. And he had something to say to me on Twitter, because of course he does. Let's take a look at that. Boy, oh boy. And this is Geek Flu responding to a tweet I made here. Boy, oh boy, did you not want to read those DMs? He's referring to the DMs between him and Andy. That wasn't the point of the stream, what the content contains, but we'll get to that. And he follows us up with, would have blown your disingenuous stance out of the fucking water. Now, I like how he phrases this, like he just calls me a liar here, but he doesn't actually say where I lied at all. This is a way that, this is how you angle an accusation. You don't actually make a direct statement about anything you've done. You just kind of slide it sideways like that. The conversation didn't start with, Geek, I'm having a panic attack. He was calm, no sign of distress. Then once I disagreed, panic ensued. Well, here's the thing, Geek. It doesn't matter. The fact is, it doesn't whether or not he had the panic attack at the beginning or the end of the conversation. You still decide to leak that and make all the attacks worse against Andy. That's on you. That was the point of why I was bringing that up. He goes on. If you're going to cover something, be thorough about it. Read all the shit. Don't just assume. I didn't assume anything. Like, I didn't have, except Warski's account was made, and you agreed with it. What was there to dispute in that case? And it doesn't contradict, and as far as I'm aware, having listened over what Warski says, nothing he says contradicts what we're going to read over in the DMs. The Jasmine thing. Well, you should have read my other post where I prove she is unstable. Also, Jared's piece. He was in, well, firstly, this part here. So her crime is being a crazy person? I mean, that's not an excuse to do something like that to her. And you did it anyway. You decided to record her having this kind of nervous breakdown and then use that against her as well. I don't know why you'd do that. If the person's crazy, though, would just go ahead and just freak out anyway. And it doesn't seem like that she's this person that you're trying to make her out to be. So I think there's something more to this than, oh, Jasmine's just a crazy person. And then he continues. Jared's piece. He was in a public Discord channel, screaming and yelling like a lunatic. No trick. Jared knew that he was being recorded in that event. Well, here's the thing, Geek. If you actually go over the recording, which we might do that, we might actually do that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get that video up. Hang on one second. All right. Let's get that video up so we can re-listen to what was said. All right, I'm reading chat for a second. All right, so the stream's having issues. Apparently, it's buffering and the quality's at 144. Let me try to see if I can fix that. All right. Okay, let's see. Yeah, let me check that out. No, Crab. It's not the case, and that's not the issue, whatever it is. All right, let me see what I can do here. All right, I'm not sure exactly how to fix the buffering issue. This wasn't happening 2 nights ago. Do my best to try and, if someone can offer a solution in the chat, that'd be great. And yeah, obviously I apologize for all the technical difficulties with this. So also press 1 if you can't hear me. I will type that out. Actually, no, press 1 if you can hear me. That'd be the better thing to say. All right. Let's see. Okay, so I can be heard. One sort of. I'm gonna have to edit this in post. All right, let's try. All right, I'm gonna have to. All right, so I'll just continue the stream, and if there's issues with that, then yeah, I'll have to resolve them later. All right, so let me just get back to what the discussion I was talking about. All right, well, I'm not going to replay the video that I played last night. You can rewatch that one if you want to. And honestly, it's not really all that necessary. Because the fact of the matter is, the guy didn't know until Geek Thulu just bumped elbows one of his buddies and said, "Hey, you're recording that, right?" And they just laughed about it. So it's pretty clear to me that he got him to do that. And this excuse that it was that he was mistaken. No, Geek, you weren't mistaken. You told the audience when you were asked about this that you watched the recording, that you listened to it, and that it wasn't you who recorded it. So there's no way you have a memory that is that convenient. You lied about it. You're caught on video on stream about it, and there's no business of you lecturing me that I got the story wrong. Sorry. If you have some relevant info for me that would change my mind about this, you can send it my way. But the statements made about your character, no, they're accurate. The fact that you were wearing blue or purple shoes at the time that that you did the act doesn't change anything. But I did say I would read the DMs between him and Andy, and I do believe this is worth the time. So let's go get to that. All right. So these were confirmed to be the DMs that Andy and Geek had. And let's look at this first one. In fact, let's zoom a bit. All right. And this was on, the date's not marked, so I'm assuming this is the 14th when they had this conversation. Andy says, "Yo, Tree of Logic thanked me for getting her off that site." Geek Flu responds with, "Cool. Yo, I think I'm gonna sue now. Gavin style." "Why? How?" He admitted to him being wrong, and this has happened before. But I was talking to a chick yesterday. 30 minutes in, she asked if I was a rapist. This happened so many times. I gotta keep explaining. But like today, she's like prey. I can't take any more. We can be friends. Sinead and I have split for 3 days, by the way. All of Sinead's family saw it before. It's the second thing when you search my name. He says I grabbed a girl from the bar and took her home. Sticks, Tree. Sticks said Paul Joseph Watson would help if I made a GoFundMe. All right, so I'm going to stop here. Now, the first bit to take away from this is that this is some very personal information that's going through with Sinead. Geek didn't take any precaution in blocking this out at all whatsoever. So this idea that, he was just an innocent person who was just trying to convince his buddies that, Andy was spurging out or whatever, that's not true. Otherwise, he would have only put in the relevant bits pertaining to the lawsuit. The stuff about Sinead, no, that's not relevant. This isn't something that was publicly known until Geek dropped this. And also the excuse that, oh, well, I released this to prove a point. No, you don't get to leak something just to prove you're right about something. That's retarded. Like, if someone comes to you privately in DMs and just says some shit, I don't see the point in, having to prove you're right. If you're really a friend to this guy, like you're trying to make yourself out to be, you would have went ahead and just said, all right, fine, you think I'm wrong, and I have no reason to lie, and just told him to fuck off. Moving on. Geek says, sorry, in the middle of a game, but with the guys. Playing Heroes of the Storm. Be done in a few. Just started when you were trying. So did Tree know Tree know that she was on the site? Andy responds with, no, but yeah, I'm gonna sue now. Geek says, what is the base of the suit? Andy responds with, every fucking person past year in real life asked if I was a rapist. Brought home a stranger to the bar. Fuck. I'm just gonna pause here again due to something else that I read. I'll just read it again. Sticks said Paul Joseph Watson would help if I make a GoFundMe. This is very critical right here, and I'm surprised that nobody's really picked up on this and called out Andy over this. Why is Andy raising money to go ahead and fund his lawsuit and use it against somebody? There's no this is the same thing that the Honey Badgers were called out for, the same thing that Sargon's done, and and with these cases, this is something that e-celebs themselves should just pay for, or either put up the money themselves, or just not at all. Because a lot of times these lawsuits are risky, they're high stakes, and the audience doesn't really benefit out of this. It's just the e-celeb that's just sucking up money from them because they're not willing to take a risk, and they're doing this for their own personal satisfaction. This isn't some kind of moral thing. Andy got mad that he got called, that Jared Holt called him said some slanderous things, which he has every right to be mad at him, and he has every right to and if he has a legal basis for this, he has every right to sue him for it. However, I don't see how that entitles him to money. And this idea that would set a precedent that he's claiming, that doesn't matter. That really doesn't. We already have laws in the books as far as libel goes and how that plays out. Andy trying to be this hero here and using a GoFundMe to do it. No, if Andy makes this GoFundMe, it needs to be shit on immediately. There's no reason for him to use other people's money to go ahead and try to pay his legal fees. That's his own personal finances that should be taken into account, not the public's. All right, so I'm going to move on to the next part of this. So slander and defamation, whatever is for character. Where is RWW located? Right Wing Watch located. Six said he will help a GoFundMe. LA. Paul Joseph Watson. I can't make this one out. Let me see if I can get a bigger image of this. Let's do that. And that way people, if they want to, they can read at home. All right. Okay. There we go. If they are in America, you will have to show that they willingly lied and it cost you money. Lawrence and Andy, that's what Geek said, and then Andy Warski responds with, Lauren Southern, sure, good. Geek responds with, slander is one of the tougher cases to build in the U.S. And he responds with, he knows the rap story. I'm presuming he means rape there. Real, I got audio. He doesn't change it. When he knew the real story, it says I raped a girl at the bar, even though he knows I got audio. So? Okay, this is really weird because I read the article and nowhere in the article does it say Andy raped a girl at the bar or raped anyone at all. Andy really does confuse me sometimes in his recollection of events, and this is one of them. Anyone can go read the archive of the article. It never said this. So this is really weird. Geeks says, just letting you know that those are some of the tougher cases and tend to take a lot of time and money. So a fundraiser is something you surely want to do. Now this is something that's telling about Geek. Geek doesn't say no, you shouldn't ask other people to give you money for this. He willingly encourages Andy making a GoFundMe to sap funds from the pay piggies. Why? Why would you That's just, well, no, I understand completely why. These people, they don't really have these, a lot of times these people think that they're just doing it for fun, or they think they're doing it for some kind of cause, like saving the West, or saving the white peoples, or whatever cause of the week it might be. Maybe it's the liberalist principles, or something like that. Or maybe they think that they're a genuine person who just likes doing what they do because they enjoy the medium, they enjoy creating content, or however they want to phrase it. But the reality is, all they're in it for is the money. Like, it's not just like, oh, I'm in it for the money, and also, it's, no, they're just in it for the money, and that's it. That's why they keep on asking for more and more and more of it from their audience, and just using the fact that they're a person just like them to get it. That's why they beg and beg, and the audience just keeps on feeding into it. And it's a disgusting practice that should end. Like, if you get asked by these people to pay for their bills, like, I need a new place to stay, I need new teeth, I need a new wheelchair, or I need to sue Calgary Expo because some people made fun, because they called me mean names and they kicked me out of their convention. You tell those people to go fuck themselves. There's no point in giving into that sort of nonsense. And yet, here's Geek and Andy planning a GoFundMe to do just that. Andy continues, when you search my name, the first thing is I am a rapist. He knows the truth. I got audio. If it's hard, good. And then let's see. And Geek says, the only thing I see in a Twitter search for Andy Warski that contains something about rape is from you. The first searches are pretty benign. There is a tweet coming. Let's go to the next one. Hopefully it's there. Okay. Let's see. All right, here we go. And then Andy says, and then Geek says, the only thing I see in a Twitter search for Andy Warski that contains something about rape. Yep, this is a statement. The first searches are pretty benign. There is a tweet coming from you saying this. And then he leaks the tweet. Andy responds with, a girl yesterday asked if I was a rapist. For fuck's sake. KK, never mind. I need help. Geek shows him a screenshot of the search. And responds with, not resistance. And then we go to the final image. Geek says, I'm not resisting you, just pointing out things, giving you realistic views. And he says, okay, well, I'm gonna write. Right? Is that a typo or am I being retarded here? Nope, he says right. Well, I'm gonna fight for my right and work with someone who is positive on not making me just give up. Are you saying that I am telling you to give up? I know shit is stressful for you, but I don't see why you are coming at me for all hot. I don't see why you're coming at me all hot for trying to give you some solid advice. I'm not just a yes man. I will give it to you straight, not tell you to shit in order to tell you what you want to hear. And he responds with, dude, when you were being stalked, you took that seriously. Now, my sister's pics all over Cow. Okay, this is the part where it gets a little bit funny. Stalked? When was I stalked? She was a baby and nude on one. Joy's people. Fuck, man. I wouldn't call that stalking, just internet harassment and some threats. But there were limitations on what I could really do about it. I get that people have put your sister's pics up on Cow, though I am trying to figure out what that has to do with Right Wing Watch. Didn't that happen before that stealth rape article came out? I'm also not telling you to not take it seriously. I am just giving you advice from a realistic perspective. You know, shit that you will run into. Seeing expectations so you don't run in blind, yet you act as if I'm trying to discourage you. Honestly, man, I would say that you should talk to Dick Masterson about it. Why? I just gotta pause here. Why? Why do you have to talk to Dick Masterson about any of this? I mean, that's just one of the goofiest things I've ever heard anyone say. And I've been reading through a rather goofy conversation, to be frank. He went through this. Oh, man. He would be able to give you the best advice besides AG, Luck, SoCal, Ralph, and or me. Well, you're telling him to fuck off here. Why I don't know. Also, going to PJW for help. That's just going to make you look more like you are produced by the alt-right that you aren't associated with. PJW is one of Right Wing Watch's biggest targets. Dude, I'll handle it, man. I'm freaking. I'm having a panic attack. Dude, I cannot handle anymore. My anxiety. The cowboards. You. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Poor, on one hand, poor Warski. On the other hand, it's just, you gotta learn to handle this stuff. Is that the last one? Do we have one more? Because I know there's an image where... Oh, wait. There is one more. Here we go. I can't handle this anymore. My anxiety. The cowboards. You. Oh my God. I can't, man. I can't do this. They won't stop. Stop. I can't do this. Nigga, online harassment isn't real. Just close your eyes. Just turn it off. What more do I have to say? Me? What the fuck about me? What have I done? No. The internet. Cow! Well, you said. Oh my God. They got nudes of my sister as a 3-year-old, and my grandpa just died when he was a oh my gosh, Andy. When he was a young bear, her on the... I can't pronounce that. Like, when he was a young bear, I'm guessing that she's trying to say that she was bare naked on the beach or something like that. Calling him pedo. I can't, man. I can't breathe. I gotta go. You need to disconnect from the internet like a week and relax, man. Go somewhere with Sinead and get your head clear. You sit there in the calls with all these people that just see you as someone to get into some shit with and tangle you with shit that you have to deal with on the fallout on. Then they walk away and have their entertainment. Thanks for blaming me. You're really kind. I'm not blaming you. How is that blaming you? Leave me alone. You are sitting there with these people, and it isn't relaxing to you. It's always something, and it keeps you spun up, and you have no downtime. Keeps you stressed. Then when this shit happens, you can't handle it or it's more stressful. And then Andy blocks him. I don't know, man. This conversation's just really, really goofy, and neither one of them look particularly good. Andy looks a whole lot worse, if I'm going to be completely honest. Because Geek does give some good advice here. Not everything he's saying here is complete bullshit. Like, turning off the internet and shit like that, yeah, you should take that advice. If you're getting stressed out like that, what else you're going to do? Keep feeding them? It's just... It is what it is. But here's the thing. There's two things to learn from this. One, don't react to these to trolls. Just don't do it. You feed the trolls, they react to you. They're gonna go ahead and they're gonna do it more. And the second takeaway is the second takeaway from this. Geek is the one who decided to go ahead and release the cow. Andy spurred out for sure, and it was pretty funny. But he didn't do it publicly. He didn't go out on a stream and just say, "Oh my gosh, cow's after me," etc. He went to a friend about it, and the friend told him to eat the friend was giving him good. No, I should rephrase that. Geek wasn't telling him to eat shit at that point. He was giving him some good advice, and Andy didn't take it the right way. But then after he was blocked, Geek leaked the DMs, and then Cow got the reaction they asked for. So, in my opinion, that's why Geek is a piece of shit, because he knew those DMs would get out there, he knew his friends would laugh, and he knew they'd get out the reaction. If Geek was real, and Geek was pretending to be a friend to Andy this whole time. Now, this is very, very curious given recent events. Geek is someone who has issues with confidentiality, mainly that he doesn't keep it. And one of the things that happened just yesterday, and the reason why I decided to do a stream about this sort of shit today rather than waiting until Sunday, was because Andy's stream got hacked, and Geek was taking the blame for this. Now, here's the thing, though. I don't know if Geek Thulu did this or not. I don't know if he was the one that was ultimately responsible, because there's a weird thing about this. The reason they're saying at first that Geek Thulu did this was because he had the moderation access to Andy's channel. And this was something that was pointed out by Geek, that no, on the 25th, I have the image here. Let me bring that up and then I'll show it. Give me one quick second. Also, I'm aware that there's interruptions in the stream, so there's nothing I can really do about that, unfortunately. I'll see if I can make a supercut of this, maybe get rid of all the flubs through the stream, or something. I don't know. But here's the thing. Geek recently released a screenshot, and he's talking with Andy about some unrelated stuff. But there's one important thing to keep a focus on here. Zoom in and move it over here. Zoom a little more. Get that into focus. There we go. Be sure to remove me from being a manager. This is on the 25th, and this is a message that Geek sent to Andy. The 25th of January. Be sure to remove me from being a manager from your account on YouTube. I don't want someone to fuck with your shit and I get blamed, because I believe there are some people around that may be aiming to get me gone. Also, if you want the Warpath server, let me know. I can transfer ownership to you as well. So Geek wasn't a manager. And I believe he said something similar on Twitter. Let me see if I can pull that up real quickly. We'll just open up a new tab and we'll access Warski's timeline. There we go. Okay. Okay, so there was 2 tweets in question here. They're relevant to this. It's this one and this one. Andy says, Geek was the only one who had my stream key. And now I see this. There is no keylogger. I have 2-step authorization, so that would be impossible. Geek is also trying to dox and use info against the 2 guys who work for me. Geek, please go away. This other message that Andy says, Geek knows if you lost manager access, you still have the stream key. Leave me alone. Geek, stop trying to make an alibi. We're done. Now, here's the funny thing about this. And the thing that really makes me think that Geek's not proven guilty necessarily. There's strong evidence to suggest that Geek might be behind it, but it's not definitive. The stream key is the relevant bit. Having manager access is irrelevant. You can go ahead and access someone's stream so long as you have the stream key. That's the thing that Andy fucked up on here. And because of this, it means that anyone who had access to his channel potentially might be responsible. Now, I've asked Andy on Twitter about this. Let me pull that up. I have that tweet prepared here. And I asked him, when did you last change your YouTube stream key before last night's hacked show? That was sent by me today, and I haven't gotten a response back from Andy. It would be very helpful if he answered this question, because then we'd know who we can rule out and not rule out as who's the culprit behind the hacking. Because as it stands, all we know is based on the antics of the guy in the stream, which apparently the guy liked posting a bunch of. Apparently the guy who hacked the stream didn't like Zoom because he was playing some recordings where some embarrassing recordings of Zoom. He didn't like Andy because he was photoshopping his sister into a bunch of porn stuff like that. Also, that should also tell you that he was trying to get the stream taken down, because you can't have that kind of material on YouTube. and once it's flagged, your channel will be taken down most likely. Suicide videos, which adds to the earlier point, and also a bunch of other disturbing stuff, like disturbing or questionable stuff, like or funny stuff like the Hitler videos. Oh, and also he posted the gun meme and other suggestions that apparently Cow was feeding him that night. So that's all we can really, but that doesn't really tell us anything. That could be anyone, just about. Apparently the guy who did it, according to Zoom, was Dispatch, but I'm not 100% convinced it was Dispatch either, although the evidence there is pretty compelling. Now, Zoom may have some other evidence about this that would make it certainly the case. There was a screenshot he gave of a live chat where the stream key was released by somebody named Cigar, he said. I believe it's a screenshot of it. And it was posted in Dispatch's chat. But the problem with that is anyone who was present in that chat could have taken the stream key and posted it and used it to access Andy's account. It didn't necessarily have to be Dispatch. So this leaves us with several questions. Who leaked the stream key in the first place? Was it really Geek? Could have been Ian Miles Chung, who's done something like this before. Don't forget, he changed all the thumbnails to Andy's channel to be gay porn. It could have been a bunch of people. Allegedly, I heard a rumor that SoulCal apparently had access to the stream key as well. And I believe at one point Andy showed a list of people, which, let me see if I can find that. At one point Andy did show that a bunch of people had access to his account. That included Ian Miles Chung, that included Geek Cthulhu, and others. And for all we know, if Andy never changed his account, this could go all the way back to someone like Chris Warski. So we don't really know who's responsible for the hacking. I will say, though, whoever decided to hack the stream, it would have been a good plan if you had a bunch of people decide to report the stream or something like that. And all that Andy really did in this particular case was, well, he seemed pretty upset on the Ralph Retort stream. But aside from making Andy mildly upset, you really just made him look really sympathetic. And give me a moment. I think I found the relevant tweet that Andy released with a screenshot. All right, so let me just show that real quick. I'm just going to read the chat real quick first. Geek Redemption arc is hilarious. I don't think there's any redemption arc for Geek. Geeks to me seems really, really slimy. I didn't title this stream Andy versus the World for a reason. I think in a lot of cases, the people who are, in fact, pretty much all the cases, the people who throw shit first are the people attacking Andy. They start it, and then Andy's put in a position where he has to defend himself. This doesn't exonerate Andy because he does some dumb things, and he's a retard for going ahead and trusting all these people to begin with. And frankly, he needs to stop that if he wants to maintain any level of sanity. Otherwise, the internet's just going to be a place where he just keeps on getting fucked with, and people are going to stop being sympathetic for him. Now, he's drawn some sympathy because like a bunch of the stuff is like kind of shitty, and nobody wants to deal with that, but that's not going to last forever. There's only so many times the retard can take a hammer and bash his head in before people say, you know what, I'm not even going to stop him. He's not going to listen to me. He's going to keep on bashing his head. Let him suffer the consequence of that. But none of the people like really fucking it. In Geek's case, he doesn't have just done it to Andy. He's done it to several people, and he's pretty much renowned as being a scumbag. So, again, I'm not really seeing the Geek Redemption arc. Wow, it's almost like the people Geek leaked it to are the ones who warned Andy about Geek leaking stuff to begin with. Yeah. Mr. Fribble says, I don't care about the moral inaccuracy of each celeb relationship so long as it produces good content. I can't blame you for that perspective. A lot of times I just view this as entertainment. Silverstein says, LOL. Crackle says, I think it was Dispatch because the gun video was played during it as well, unless he was framed. The issue I have with that is I don't think it's just Dispatch that finds the gun meme funny. Like, even Zoom was laughing at the giant gun that is attached to Ralph. Like, this isn't something that just a few A-logs are finding funny. Pretty much everyone's laughed at it. Jim's laughed at it. Everyone has laughed at this one photo where Ralph's gut is hanging out. I mean, like, I don't know. I don't think this is just, you know, one or two people that find that funny. And Geek is boring. Yeah, I agree. He is. Although he's fun to make. Although he can be fun to make fun of. But all right, let me just show what Andy shared on Twitter concerning the people who manage his account. All right. So he's got himself, Geek Thulu, X Center, and I don't know. I believe that's his MCM, if I'm not mistaken, and Still Gray, who we all know is Ian Miles Chung. And honestly, it could have. And honestly, in this, and there's, but I'm sure there's more. But we know that these people had access to the account, which means they had access to the stream key. This is posted on January 27th, which, oh, hang on a second. Oh, hang on a minute. It just occurred to me, this was posted on January 27th. Now, assuming that Andy took this the same day, that means Geek Thulu still retained ownership of the account past the 25th. That is interesting. I guess Andy didn't revoke it until later. How much later, I don't know. I may ask him about that. Might need a better way to get his attention than just sending him a tweet. Though he did respond last time, so maybe he'll respond again. But as I said, we don't know all the people who have his account, and we also have to include Chris Warski in the suspect list because Andy and him have beef. Like, that's just the thing between the two of them. All right, chat. Mr. Pribble in chat says, "Poor Ralph." Ralph. I don't know. I don't think Ralph is all that poor. I think he's doing pretty successful in his own right at this point. Like, but I don't want to put too much focus on him. Not tonight. I saw somewhere a screenshot saying it was revoked for Geek on the 14th of February. If you could send me that screenshot, that would be very helpful. Sup, John? Doing well tonight? All right. All right, so there was some other stuff I was going to talk about, but I got kind of consumed with the geek stuff and with some other stuff. Actually, no, I should talk about and get into some stuff involving CRP because that's an interesting character. Now, CRP has been the latest person who's Warski's taken issue with. Apparently, on the Ralph retort, he threatened him. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely go over it then. Now, the first thing I heard about this was CRP made some very, very interesting statements over on stream. He was saying that basically saying that, putting the onus on Andy for what was going down. Let's listen to some of these videos real quick.
Has always been incredibly kind to me.
Let me put this back.
JF, rather, has always been incredibly kind to me. And when I was attacked by Sargon, he was very kind and gave me a big platform to debunk a lot of the bullshit that Sargon was saying. The bullshit he was lying about me. And Sargon was lying about me because, I guessed correctly that he knew all about Kraut's bullshit, all his gay ops, right? And so I'm very thankful for JF for giving me that opportunity to clear my name.
I have no idea why he opened this topic up with that. He's just putting everything. He's just saying right off the bat that he has this huge bias towards JF, and that he's basically sucking his dick. And then he's going to talk about the whole JF Andy drama, and we're supposed to accept that he's given an objective kind of perspective here, despite the fact that JF's kind of gave him this quote unquote huge platform to dispel the lies. Let's continue.
Kind of it. He's always been nothing but kind to me and very straightforward. And insofar as my dealings with him, he's always been interested in the truth, wheresoever the truth may fall. Okay? Now, he's getting a lot of shit from different people, from Andy, from...
Is JF really interested in the truth? Because whenever he gets into arguments or debates with people, he seems to live in this world of his own. And according to some of the papers that Zoom showed on his show, JF's just a fruitcake who doesn't have a good grasp on reality. Moving on.
Godwinson, I don't know what to say about it. I mean, because all this shit is sort of we all knew about this and JF's romantic proclivities, right?
Romantic proclivities. You mean how he's been raping retards? Are you kidding me, Coach? That's not a romantic proclivity. I mean, that really isn't. A romantic proclivity is giving your girlfriend flowers or candy. That's just straight up rape and abuse. Let's continue.
And so I don't know what to say about it, right? I support JF, and I think that I don't agree with him politically on everything, or how he conducts his life on everything. Of course not. That'd be crazy, because each one of us lives our life as we see fit, and we each have our own political vision, and nobody agrees with everything on every score, right? But I try to support him, and how could I put it? If he calls me up and he needs my help, I will help him. Okay, let me leave it at that, because I feel that I owe him, and that he was very kind to me at a moment in my YouTube career, quote unquote, smirk. At a point in my YouTube career that was kind of delicate, and he was very kind to me.
Okay, so I'm at a loss for words here. He's commenting on the JF and Andy fight to not say anything at all, but before he does that, he's going to drink a gallon of JF's cum to say absolutely nothing. That's incredible to me. But there's more. But he does go on. So let's get another couple clips. Specifically this one.
Yeah. Andy gone bankrupt from Ian, and now he needs easy money. I don't know about that, Rosarius, but I'm not. Okay, fuck it. I'm kind of disappointed in Andy and how he's acting as of late. I'm supposed to edit the documentary, which is all focused on Andy's fight or non-fight with Tonka. And I find it very difficult to work on that project. I mean, it's my fault.
I don't get what he's saying here. The first part about he's getting upset with Andy getting to fight with people. Okay, fine, you're not liking that direction. There is some valid criticism to be had there. But the second part, why is he bringing up the documentary? Now, I was under the pretense that you and Ralph and Andy and some other people decided to go down there because it was a fun thing to do. and maybe get a little promotion out of it. Like, that was the point. But now you're saying after you made this promise that you were going to, oh yeah, I was going to totally do the documentary, and let me ask the chat real quick. Wasn't there a fundraiser associated with this too? Or am I misremembering that? Because I seem to recall a fundraiser that had occurred. I'm going to look that up real quick, and I'm going to show on the screen if that's the case. Okay, no, it doesn't appear there was. It must be... Oh, I'm thinking mixing up with Ralph and Warski's fundraiser. Anyway. Yeah, it's really odd to me that someone who's supposedly doing this project that's just for fun has to make this into like a shekel grab.
I wasn't paid for it by anybody.
All right, let's switch browsers real quick.
You know, certainly not Andy, right? So I can do whenever the fuck I want to. Nobody has to tell me shit. So I'll just put that out there because I paid for my trip to Knoxville. I paid for my stay in Knoxville. You know, the gear is mine and the footage is mine. And so fuck all anybody who gives me shit, you know, when the documentary is going to come out. Okay, that being said, I want to do the documentary. Or let me phrase it. I wanted to do the documentary. But now, with the way Andy's acting, it's just so demotivating, you know?
But why should that matter? Like, why not just ignore that? Let Andy do what he wants, and then you can just do the documentary, which you presumably want to do. Like, you are passionate about this. And honestly, I don't get why he wouldn't want to do a documentary on this. Dame Pesos made a great video on the whole Warski versus JF fight, and it was honestly one of his best ones. And Toad is working on this as well, and they're not guys who are just like running YouTube careers and like needing some guys with some big platforms to like dispel lies and rumors about them, and they just make dumb internet videos for fun. This is really just some guy who's just some faggot who's trying to get in with the cool kids, and he's doing it by getting over the latest hot property, which would be Warski in this case, and just using him to boost his own career. And the moment that the hot property doesn't look like it's going to be so hot anymore, he's trying to turn tail, and he's come up with excuses as to why he can do this. So it's probably a case where he realized he didn't really have much of an angle for the documentary. All of his flash camera angles weren't really all that great, and he decided to not bother with it. Let's continue for a little bit.
You know? I think that he's just doing all kinds of shit, you know, and he keeps getting into fights with people as opposed to making content.
Oh, he's getting into fights. So what? People were dicks to him. I don't blame Andy for fighting back. I don't see why you should either. I mean, you certainly been in that position where you had to fight back against people. You have a third YouTube channel dedicated to just that. The videos that have promoted you the best have been the ones about drama. So you complain that other people are getting involved with the said drama is kind of hypocritical.
Content, you know, he's supposed to go down to Miami with Ethan Ralph, right? I'm going to say this, and I don't give a shit. I mean, get ready to clip this, and I'm going to say it publicly. I wonder if in 6 months' time, Andy is going to turn on Ethan Ralph and start shitting on him. Yeah. I mean, like, he keeps on shitting on everybody he partners with. And, you know, there are two common denominators here. One common denominator is that all of Andy's partners are these backstabbers and these evil people, and they steal from him, and they're evil, rotten to the core, blah, blah, blah. That's one common denominator. You got that with fucking JF. You got that with Chris Warski. You got that with Geek Thulu. You got that with Tonka Saw. You got that with everybody he ever partners with.
Yeah, but Coach, you were there. You've condemned all these people, with the exception of JF, on these things. They always throw the first barb in these disputes. What he's doing here is saying that Andy's the the one who's at fault here because Andy happens to be friends with all of them, which I don't see the evidence for that. I mean, I suspect that maybe Andy's a bit of a snake, but I can't exactly prove that. He's just been retarded, like severely retarded, blameworthy retarded, but nonetheless, this idea that Andy can't work with people because he's just going to stab them in the back later on, I don't think that's the case. And I don't see Ralph going at, well, in Ralph's case, I don't really see Ralph going after Andy. I don't. I just think that this is probably Coach Red Pill, and later events would probably confirm this. I think Coach Red Pill is just trying to break away from both Andy and Ralph, and that's why he's bringing his name up into this when there's no reason to. So let's play one more video, or I think there's 2 more videos on this. Let's go with this one.
And the other common denominator is that they all partnered with Andy. Okay? And that, makes you think, right? So I'm saying it right now. I mean, like, the fucking way he's going to be, like, shitting on everybody. And is Andy gonna start shitting on me because I'm pointing out the truth here? Is he gonna start?
Give me a second, please.
I was attacked by Sargon. He was very kind and gave me a big platform to
Sorry, I lost my place here. Let's just restart from the beginning.
Assholes, backstabbers, cheaters, liars. Yeah, that's one common denominator. And the other common denominator is that they all partnered with Andy. Okay? And that, makes you think, right? So I'm saying it right now. I mean, like, the fucking way he's going to be, like, shitting on everybody. And is Andy gonna start shitting on me because I'm pointing out the truth here? Is he gonna?
That's a pretty funny statement, and I'll show you why in a moment.
Start shitting. Oh, coach is evil, blah blah blah, because he calls me out on fucking getting into fights with every fucking person who crosses his path. What the fuck is the matter with the kid? I'm fucking sick and tired of it. I'm bored with this shit. I mean. Like, I like Andy. I think he's cool. I think he's charismatic. I think that, he can deliver good content when he sets his mind to it, right? But, like, the fucking hit pieces on JF, man, I mean, what the fuck, right? It's just, and the shit, man, he gets into fights with everybody every fucking day. Geek Thulu, like, leaked out those DMs, right? I mean, it looked like Andy was getting ready to get into a fight with Geek Thulu. Now, apparently they are fighting. Fuck if I know.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, no, that's not the case. Like, at this time, Andy wasn't really in a mode to take down Geek Thulu. What Andy originally said was that he just didn't want anything to do with Geek Thulu past that point. And I don't blame him for saying... Who could blame him for saying that? Like, his problem has been trusting people way too much. Breaking off with people who are not trustworthy is a good move on his part. So... Coach doesn't know what he's talking about with that last one. Well, Coach hardly ever knows what he's talking about, so let's continue.
I mean, it's just fucking tiresome. I mean, this is supposed to be fun. And Andy isn't acting in a fun way. He's acting in a fucking spur-gas way. I'm fucking sick of it. So people ask me, when is the documentary coming out? I don't fucking know. Because, like, the whole point of it was to sort of like...
All right, in all honesty, there's only so much of Coach Red Pill I can stand listening to. I've already listened to this once before, so I'm just gonna give my take on this guy and current developments. Let's see. All right, so after the stream that happened, the clips you listened to happened this Sunday. I think that Andy went on the stream at one point, and they talked over this directly with each other, and at that point, and they pretty much just went over the same kind of points, and they kind of mellowed out that night, but Zoom decided that he was going to go after CRP, and he did a bunch of videos on him, like apparently he keeps on bragging about things that he didn't accomplish and saying that he's far more credible than he actually is. Like he'll say he worked on multiple movies, but there's only evidence that he only ever worked on one. There's keeps on being more and more signs that it keeps on switching from project to project and never really being really all that great in any of them, and just doing something mediocre and moving on to the next big thing. And to be honest, his whole YouTube career has just been catering to an audience of incels and giving them life advice. A very specific form of Jordan Peterson. And yeah, I apologize for like the stream buffering in and out. I don't know why that is. Unfortunately, I can't do anything about it at the moment. And yeah, CRP did seem really scared of Zoom. In fact, I think I should play that on stream because this is worth playing and worth listening to. All right, let's see. We're going to go to here.
That Andy has towards me. I've never.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to play it around.
You know, and Coach Red.
All right, just find the right spot for it.
Was trying to take this guy down, and they ended up making him money. No strikes, no nothing. Yeah, go ahead. You cut out.
Coach is in the green room, by the way.
I see Coach, and I wasn't.
All right, here's a good spot for it. Let's switch over. This is on the kill stream. Happened a couple nights ago or last night. Yeah, it was last.
I wasn't ignoring him, but
Coach Red. Coach Bitch.
As you can hear, Andy's really shooken up over I guess the past events over the past week or so.
You're next, bitch.
Oh man! All right.
And right there, he just threatened Coach Red Pill, which is funny because Coach Red Pill's prediction, Andy go after him next, is correct.
Yeah,
Coach Red Pill, you're next, bitch.
I got that. Thank you. Thank you, Andy. I appreciate it, man.
Peace, guys.
I didn't make out all of Andy's final messages. He was.
I don't think it was positive
Yeah.
towards Coach, but I couldn't make it all out. Maybe it was, though. Maybe we missed the key part there. I'm not sure.
Perhaps. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, because it's probably a positive.
He's been
message.
through a lot. Maybe he's looking to make friends now.
Yeah. I don't know if Coach got a little miffed that we brought in Andy first, but the reason I did that is because
Coach is back in the green room.
He's the one who got hacked. Okay. All right.
All right. I'm guessing there was a jump cut here. This is later on in the stream, so let's continue.
Well, this is just turning into a full-scale dumpster fire, isn't it? Okay.
Dumpster fire.
Coach, go ahead.
Yeah. I really have to go. I have to go to the doctors. You know, that situation I have.
Sure.
It's
Yeah,
not
you
me
did.
personally. It's somebody else.
I understand. Yeah.
Look, I've always been kind to Andy.
Now, isn't that funny? You heard Coach just on Sunday night, just the night before this one, talk all that shit about Andy, and then he comes on here and just goes, "Oh, I've always been nice to Andy. I've been a great guy. I've been really swell." No, he's full of shit. He's not been nice to Andy all the time. He was just throwing him right under the bus, and if we're supposed to believe, that, like, he should just come out of the gate and just say that, yeah, I've had it with Andy. It's gotten to a breaking point or something like that. But you know what? I'm talking way too much. This is just really, if you don't like Coach Red Pill, I think that you'll enjoy this.
Always been tried to be nice to the guy. I've respected him, and now he's saying that he's coming after me, bitch. I'm coming after you, Coach Red Pill, bitch.
I think he was joking with that, possibly.
I don't think so. I've just made up my mind. You know, I wish, Andy and his whole crew, Zoom, and the other people that he surrounded himself, I wish them the best of luck. But, I'm just going to bow out, and I'm not going to have any kind of further interaction.
All right, now let me take the devil's advocate. Go ahead.
And I think that this might be the last time that you and I talk too.
Really?
Because yeah.
Now, at this point, This is where Coach really fucked up. Let's continue.
Life is short, you know, and I prefer to be surrounded with you know, people who aren't into like drama and all kinds of bullshit. I just want good content, you know, and I think I produce good content, and you know, I don't need this shit. Life's too short. So if people want to say all kinds of things, I mean, if people want to claim,
Now wait, this is the
that I
last
live
time
in
me
my
and you are gonna
studio,
talk?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's on your.
That's kind of
it's on,
rude, Coach.
the
I'm gonna be.
To say the least. And this is what I meant before earlier, that I said that the reason why he's bringing up Ralph and his rant against Andy was specifically because he was planning on cutting ties with Ralph. And he's doing it on the basis of, oh, he's too toxic. Well, he's not saying that directly, but you know what's implied. It's just too much drama. I don't want to have to do anything to deal with that. This guy has a third channel called Shitstream. And he's busy ranting about what makes good content. Like, let's look at the titles of these things, which, yeah, this is really, really some fine great art right here. Impressions of Godwinson, What's Up with V, A Bad Destiny Awaits Destiny, Message to Kraut, The Shitstream Live, which apparently is happening tonight at 12, which I'm going to have to see in post. There's no way I'm going to stay up to watch that crap. This is the guy lecturing other people about, like, about content? Are you kidding me? This is his logo. I might have to take this stream down just for showing this. It looks awful. It's like a pile of sewage that's just coming out. Where does this guy get on his high horse and say that I'm not interested in the drama, I can't associate with these bad actors, and then this guy is just so fake. This guy should just stick to his bread and butter, which is just catering to the incel community. That's all he does. He tells them with such videos as never trust a woman and women ruin every. Well, he never said women ruin everything, but I bet he's one of those guys that agree with the meme unironically that we should just repeal the 19th Amendment. Like, I don't know. Let's listen to some more of him crying on stream.
I'm gonna be real with you.
The ball's on your court, man. I mean, like, I've told you my opinion, and I think that, you know, people who act the way that Andy has towards me, I've never done anything to the guy. On the contrary,
Now let me
I've given him good advice.
Now let me say a few
I've
things,
given
Coach.
you good advice.
Let me say a few things, Coach. Coach, let me speak here for a minute. First off, any beef you and Andy have is beef you and Andy have. I mean, that doesn't have anything to do with me.
Yeah, I know. But like,
second off, but let me say this: some of the things you said to him on stream the other night, I think they would have been better aired in private rather than aired on stream like that. And I can actually I can actually understand why I can understand why he would see that as kind of an attack, to be honest with you.
Okay.
And right there, Ralph is absolutely correct. Coach shouldn't be just going out in public and just laying this all on Andy. He should just go to him first. Again, they're supposed to be friends. I don't get why they have to be such backstabbers. All these people have to be backstabbers to one another. And it's not just Andy and all these people. It's a general thing that happens among these e-celebs. They have to fight dirty for some reason. They can't just talk to each other like adults and handle things like adults. So the coach should really just start following his own advice and not be throwing stones in glass houses. All right, I'm not sure if... Just going to go back to the chat real quick. No, Mr. Fribble, I don't believe it's the same otter. That otter was a male. This one has a female's voice on account that she made one video. It's probably your internet connections causing the buffering. Yeah, I'm going to have to look into ways to resolve it for next time. It might just be a settings issue. I'm not sure, though. I can see from the stream window that the buffering is really going to make this one a very choppy episode. Yeah, someone mentioned earlier, I forget who, that CRP is afraid of Zoom. I think he is. I definitely think he is, because Sunday he was all brazen and bold to go after Andy, and then Zoom started to look into his past and look at his failures, fuck-ups, and schemes that he's done over the years. And there seems to be quite a number of them, to be frank. This guy isn't real. Like, one thing that Zoom said that's really hard to disagree with at this point, given all he's done since, like all the just his entire character that he just portrayed himself as, is Zoom had to say that, like, he clarified this by saying, he prefaced this by first saying that it feels like I have to, like, it feels like I'm munching on tacks in my teeth or something like that, or some painful kind of metaphor. That he said that it's like Kraut and Sargon were right about CRP. I mean, I don't think what they did was very cool. I think that they were faggots about the whole affair. Like, Kraut just wanted to spread a whisper campaign against the guy, and Sargon wanted to condemn Kraut for talking about this shit, this guy's past, all the shit and dirt that he had on him. And then he found it was perfectly acceptable to do so himself after King of Pole dropped on his kiwi farms and act like he didn't know nothing about it, which is just the most two-faced and dishonest thing I've seen from him in a while. Well, actually, I wish I could say that. Honestly, that's not really even remotely close to the worst thing he's done in a while. Yeah, that King of Pole. It's amazing how that guy keeps on cropping up. But at the same time, I really can't hate him. He's a constant source of entertainment. And whenever he gets an ounce of power, it just blows up in his face. And I'm just amazed by it. It's probably one of the few good uses Kiwi Farms has nowadays, is that his thread is a testament to just how much of a true locale he really is. I don't think it gets... Whenever I think of the phrase, I immediately point to King of Pole. He's just someone who cannot resist taking the bait. In fact, if he replies to this video, I would not be surprised in the least. Just because I said something briefly about him. Other than that, well, I figured I'd get some of my thoughts in there. I figured that I would talk about this geek character some more because he's seriously a piece of shit. And get a little bit more into the Andy stuff. Talked a little bit about the hacking for a brief moment. Yeah, so I think that I'll end it here. And if there's any corrections, or if there's any updates or any things I should have that I didn't cover that I should have, let me know. Either you can post a comment in the description. You can either go to the Discord and talk about it there, or you can hit me up at Twitter at JMKACC. And yeah, I think that'll be it. I think there might be one more thing I want to do. And not tonight. I don't think I'm prepared for it. All right. You'll have a good night. And I will see you later.